This award is given to women sailors that have done really extraordinary things to share sailing and promote sailing for women. Some of the honorees include Betsy Alison, who's actually in town. She's taking a day off because she spent 3 days prior to this working with a group of women for them to become keelboat sailing instructors, all women. This honor, though, is brought about with a collaboration with BoatUS. It's the BoatUS NWSA Women's Sailing Award. Betsy Alison was one of the very first people to get this award. Another person that you saw on the video, Nancy Erley, was an award honoree. And Pat Dieselman, come on up here, Pat. Pat Dieselman is here. Oh, I forgot how short I was. Pat Dieselman is here. She and one of her friends, Sue, they drove all the way up from Marblehead, and they taught already 2 classes. And what are you doing? 2 more?
2 more.
2 more. So that together they're teaching a whole bunch of women, a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm looking for Margaret Pommert. She is here. She was being so adored by the women downstairs that she's probably trying to drag herself away from everyone so that she can come up here. 2020 Leadership in Women's Sailing Award honoree, and Marie Rogers. She is the 2021 Leadership in Women's Sailing Award honoree. And Pat, you want to go get that big heavy thing for her? So this is, it's kind of hard to see because it's see-through, but this is a gigantic Leadership in Women's Sailing Award. BoatUS is presented to Marie Rogers for inspiring, educating, enriching the lives of women through sailing in 2021. And like Margaret, Maria's kind of got a little shortchanged on this because of the calendar that we had. So we're going to be doing the Leadership in Women's Sailing Award again. Your reign is going to be super short, girl. So sorry.
Very good.
Thank you.
Awesome.
This is great. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, National Women's Sailing Association and BoatUS. It is quite an honor to be here, recognized by my peers and the boating industry. Sharing sailing, yes, indeed. What a concept. That's the theme of this year's convention. You wouldn't think it would be such rarity. You're doing something that you love and find that it's more enjoyable when you invite people to join in fun. It doesn't seem all that special. I've listened to women's keynote speeches for different women's sailing associations. A lot of the women in this room and at this yacht club today, we've had Volvo around the world races, a solo and all women's teams, Transpacific, and so on. These are incredible feats. All I've really done is invite people to go sailing. The stories that these other women tell bring me to tears. The bravery, the skills, the dedication. It's also inspiring and gives me hope for the future of girls in sailing and boating of all kinds. In my quiet moments, I imagine where I'd be if I had had access to boating as a young person. You see, I was born in a ghetto. I was born in South Central Los Angeles. You hear about gangs, riots, crazy violence, and we're fed images in the news and other media of poverty, ignorance, and black-on-black brutality. But it's astounding how little the average person knows about real U.S. history, how non-whites were restricted in terms of housing and redlined into ghettos across this beautiful nation of ours. People of color were harassed out of most outdoor recreation areas, but managed to find space at some public beaches and Black public pools, like where my father worked as a lifeguard during the summers. Private clubs, including those for boat owners, had white-only restrictions for membership. It was written into yacht club bylaws that no member should be allowed from the following groups: Jews, Mexicans, Chinese, or Black. When I stumbled into sailing, it was because a person invited me to sail with them. Neither he nor I realized how this would change my life. Stepping onto a boat was the last place I expected to find myself that warm evening in Marina del Rey, California. We were going out to watch fireworks on the 4th of July. When I was actually offered the helm, I was taken by fear, fascination, and pleasure all at the same time. It was such a privilege to have that experience. And thus it became an immediate goal to find new opportunities to be on boats. Years and years later, after becoming a certified sailing instructor and licensed captain, I've been able to invite my friends, colleagues, and sailing clients to have that same experience. And it never gets old. Experts have studied the psychology of sailing, specifically what is happening when someone learns to helm a boat. It is as if they are moving themselves in a fixed direction with the aid of their bodies and their psyche. The trusted crew members are there to support you on your happy journey. The person learns to trust herself and all of her parts, as well as others in her environment that are also sharing the journey. After leaving the boat, people take that feeling with them to their home and work lives. I have watched survivors of physical, emotional, and substance abuse transform into happier people through sailing. I've seen people who never thought in their wildest dreams that they would be calmly and confidently beyond the water, sailing, or otherwise boating, actually learning how to do this and be in control of the vessel. To have systematically denied that experience to large segments of our society is truly cruel and immoral. The good news is that the world is changing and more people of diverse backgrounds are showing up and feeling safe with new experiences like boating. As more people of all backgrounds are invited in and mentored on boats, the sport of sailing will only grow. It just takes each of us to remember our very first magical experience on a boat and striving to share that with somebody new. Thank you.
And I'm absolutely appreciative of every one of you, and I love you all. Thank you.
Thank you.